Hello everyone, how you doing? My name is Diane and this is Madam Butterfly Tarot, and this is a quick pick a card for Tuesday the 25th of July, but obviously it's timeless, you know. So pile number 1 is the Shiva Lingam stone, which always tries to run away. A very high vibrational stone. Pile number 2 is the amethyst, which is really good for your crown chakra and your third eye chakra. And this little guy here is black tourmaline, which is really good for fending off negative energy. Also, if you have noisy neighbors, you can get this and pyrite and kind of make a grid around the edges of like the inside of your house. And it's weird, like I did it with my my last neighbors, and it just doesn't bother you anymore. Like the noise just doesn't bother you. So it's not like it gets rid of the noise, but it doesn't bother you, so it's the same as getting rid of the noise, if you see what I mean. But also, you know, if you work with like people that suck, or you have a lot of kind of bad juju around, like this is really good for absorbing negative energy. But it is important to remember to clean them, you know. So anyway, that's the piles. I'll just give you a second to choose. Okay. That guy out of the way. So pile number 1, the Shiva Lingam stone. Okay, so you guys have the cougar, you can do it. You know, I feel like this pile, I already feel like you're coming to the end of some, it's like you've achieved, it's not that you can do it, it's like you've done something. I feel like you've already done something. Because, you know, I had another candle going, like I had this one going, but if you see in the background, there's another candle. I had it going all day, and literally just as I sat down and turned, like, just as I turned on the camera, like I'd set everything up and I turned on the camera, the candle went out. So it feels like you're literally about to start a new cycle. So it may have been like you've been trying to achieve something, or you've just been through a really tough cycle, but you're victorious. Some of you might also hear news of a child, or you might be having a child, because they just put me in mind of like the Lion King. Obviously, you know, where little Simba, the monkey, holds up Simba and they do the circle of life and stuff, which I'm not going to sing. But I feel like this is something you've already done. Like you've been through a hard cycle and you've done it, you're there. And I feel like you know that you've done it too, or you're very, very close to the end of the cycle, because that's a happy little lion. You also have the 6 of Swords, or the 6 of Air. Yeah, things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip, and you have the Sun, happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success, have confidence in yourself. See, it's like you've been through something tough, you know. Like I said, that could be your whole life and you're only just now coming to like a good point in your life. Like maybe you spent your whole life in survival mode, and now you're finally like, oh my god, I can breathe, like this is nice, like I'm finally, yeah, my fridge just clicked on. So for some of you, that's what this is. Like you've spent your whole life in survival mode and you're finally coming out of it. So you're about to be very happy, and you've done really well. You've done really, really well. And I feel like the majority have got here on pure willpower alone. You know what I mean? Because there may have been some really tough times, but like with the Sun, you may even be about to sort of enter the spotlight in some way, because I see in both, sorry I'm fidgeting. I see on both cards here, they're kind of on a little cliff, or they're on a hill or something. But you're about, it's all leading to a happy outcome. So if life has always been hard, just know that it's coming to a point of a very happy outcome. You may also be getting some new idea, you know, maybe you've been struggling with that, there's new ideas coming. I also feel there's something with this pile about having confidence in yourself, because this is kind of like it's like you've come out of a tunnel and you're finally out in the sun again. So this may have been a journey of like self-empowerment and self-love, and like self-confidence, and now you're happy to be in the spotlight, you know what I mean? Like these two cards here, they're in the spotlight. So it's like, okay, here we are. Here we are. Like, we're good. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay now, pile number 1. Look at that. You have the full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Wow. And you have you are good enough, the full moon in Virgo. Okay. So literally confirmation of what I was just saying. So you've obviously been through a very tough cycle. Now, obviously it's going to be different for different people. That could be like a sort of not as long, tough cycle. But I feel like for a lot of you, it may be like your entire life, you know, or a long time anyway, like decades or like a decade. But it's been something to do with everything has been leading to you realizing that you're good enough and having confidence in yourself. And for a lot of you, I feel like it's because you're moving into some kind of leadership position or somewhere. It's like, even if that's not to do with your work, you know, it could be like social anxiety, or you just didn't want to be seen before, you didn't like being in the spotlight or something. But you may be can't talk. You may be being prepared for a leadership position in the future. That's what this has all been about. But yeah, that is your message, pile number 1. So the end of a very tough cycle, coming in to your own, having confidence, feeling like you're good enough, seeing your own self-worth. You may have been doing a lot of heart chakra healing and solar plexus healing, or that may be something that's just coming about naturally with a shift in this mindset. But this mindset has not happened overnight. Like, this shift in the mindset has not happened overnight. This has happened through like a lot of lessons over a long period of time, is what I want to say. So well done, pile number 1. It's over, okay? The hard part's over. So congratulations. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the reading useful. And as always, I wish you many blessings, love and light. Take care. I'm gonna put that there. Okay. So pile number 2, you guys, were the amethyst. So you have the crow, believe in the magic. Ew. I like that one. What else do we have here? Oh my god, I can already see the King and the Queen of Cups. Look, that is wild. Look at that. Look at that. The King and the Queen of Cups have come out together. And you have the Page of Wands. See, that kind of came out like that. So I want to put that like that. I'm going to put the crow up here. And you have another 2 cards here. Oh, this is definitely a love pile. You have, don't let, I want to do that. A new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So you could be dealing with a Libra. And you have don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. So you could be dealing with a Leo, or you could be a Libra or a Leo. This person that you're dealing with, I mean, you have the King and the Queen of Cups here, so you're just going to have to decide who you are. But the King of Water can be a Libra, or someone, see, they could have heavy Libra in their chart. Like, you might think this person is, I don't know, a Cancer or something, but they actually have a Libra rising. See, the rising is like how people see you. It's like how you come across to other people. So they could have like a Libra rising or a Libra moon or a Libra Venus or something. They could be Libra, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And you could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces yourself, but obviously you don't have to be. But you could also have that somewhere in your chart that you don't know about, or that could be vice versa. This could be you, and that could be them. So this is something to do. Okay, this is someone you already know, is what I want to say, because you have don't let pride get in your way. So this is someone you already know. I feel like it's a reconnection. You have the Page of Wands, which talks about, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. The Page of Wands talks about receiving a message. So there's going to be communication here. I don't know if one or both of you, I feel like both of you might be a little stubborn here. Maybe you both have a little Leo in your chart. but maybe there's been, I don't know, I want to say like a standoff here in this connection in some way. You know, maybe you were both kind of, because this guy's looking away, so maybe both of you were kind of pretending, you're like, I don't care, whatever, like, not even, I don't care. But there's a new romantic cycle, there's a new cycle beginning with this person. And they're saying believe in the magic, like believe this can work. Because I feel like this connection is, honestly, I feel like you're going to make a really good couple. I feel like you're both a lot more emotional than you let on. You know, the King and the Queen of Cups are very emotional. They're very loving, very sweet. Whoever this King of Cups is could be a little more repressed than the Queen. Like the King of Cups tends to be like a little more repressed. You know, but they've done a lot of work on themselves. You know, the King of Cups is someone, the King of Cups is all about self-mastery. Like they're very stable, in touch with their emotions, but not ruled by them, like not reactionary, but like I said, a little repressed. The Queen of Cups is very sweet, like very loving, very compassionate, very empathetic. However, she does usually at some point in her life, his or her life, have to work on boundaries, because sometimes the Queen of Cups can be like too open. So it's often the case that this person has to learn boundaries. So maybe you've been learning boundaries and this person's been learning something else. I think this person's been learning to let people in a little more, and you've been almost learning to kind of pull back a little more, or like vice versa, right? Whoever, you know, I feel like the Queen, whoever that is, has had to learn to pull back a little bit, but the King has had to learn to open up a bit more. But they're saying like believe in the magic here. Let yourself believe, let yourself be excited, because there's a new exciting cycle in this connection and you're going to be very happy. And I do think you make a really good match. I think you make a really good match. You're like two little peas in a pod. So, you know, if there is like a little bit of pride here, don't let that get in the way of something that could be really beautiful, I think. And you may, like with the crown chakra, the amethyst, you might be getting a lot of messages from spirit about this, like through your third eye. Well, your third eye is the seat of your intuition and your spirit guides. So you might be getting a lot of messages from your intuition about this person, you know, or you might be getting messages from your like angels and from the universe through your crown chakra. Okay, but they're saying like let yourself believe, it's good, it's okay. So there's some kind of message here that's about to come in. Okay, so pile number 2, that was your message. I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and as always I wish you many blessings, love and light. Take care. And pile number 3, you have the black tourmaline. So you guys have, oh, you have the bear, stand up for yourself. Okay, let's see what else you got. Oh, no way. You have awakening, the hanged man, and you have the devil, which is this card came out in the exact same place yesterday. That's why I was like, no way, man, oh my god. I want to say this is something to do with like a throat chakra thing, like standing up for yourself, asserting boundaries, because Archangel Gabriel is about the throat chakra and communication and speaking up for yourself. The devil here is called the ego in this deck, but it's the devil. Is about the thing that gets in your way, the thing that holds you back. And I feel like this pile, there's something to do with like a blocked throat chakra, like not standing up for yourself, not speaking up for your needs, like, you know, being like, that's not okay with me, like I want you to do this, or like, you know, I'm not happy with this situation, I'm going to speak up for myself, you know. Because it's like you've been almost having to wear a mask, and that's kind of what happens with the throat chakra. Like at some point you learn, it's different for different people, you know. It can be in childhood that you learned it, like maybe You know, when you spoke up for yourself in childhood, or you asked for things in childhood, it was not well received. So you just learned to stop asking because it caused trouble and it got you in trouble, right? Survival, and survival instincts. You just learn not to. Or you could have been bullied in high school or something, you know, where every time you said something, people were like, oh, you're stupid, like, just shut up. So you just learn to shut up, right? Or it could have been like a sibling or anything. Could even have been a relationship that you were in for a long time where they silenced you, or something like this. But it's, you know, over time, the throat chakra just gets like more and more closed. So it's almost like that's kind of where the social anxiety comes from. Like, that's associated with the throat chakra. That's why a lot of people with social anxiety like to be alone, because you don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not. When you're alone, you can do what you like. But as soon as you throw a person into the mix, you feel that thing kicks in where you're like, oh my God, like I have to watch what I'm saying, or I have to watch what I'm doing, or that's not okay to say. I feel like that's what's being removed, like this mask. And you're just going to be walking around being like, I'll say what I want. I mean, you don't want to get it to a point where your throat chakra is like too open, because that's when you start talking over people, and you don't want to be saying mean stuff to people. There's no need for that. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's getting to a point to understand that it's okay to ask for things and stand up for yourself and like take up space, because whatever the threat was that was there should be gone now as an adult. And if it's not, you should be working on getting rid of it, basically. But I feel like you're having an awakening here about this particular thing, because you may have found that things in your life, like the Hanged Man talks about a stagnant energy, like having to wait. And the reason for the wait is because Spirit, excuse me, my throat just went. Spirit is waiting for you to see things from a different perspective. And for you, it's about standing up for yourself, asserting your needs, taking up space, asserting a little bit of dominance. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't want to walk all over people, but it's like, be kind, but take no shit, right? Like, you're not somebody else's chew toy. People don't, you know, it's not okay for other people to inconvenience you because you don't want to speak up and upset them. That's not okay, right? Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. Look, it's important to be yourself. See, I feel like you're just kind of taking off this mask. It's like you've got to a point now where you're like, I don't give a shit. And it's not like apathy. You know, it's not apathetic. It's like, I just don't care anymore. It's like, no. Like, why am I hiding myself? Like, why am I not saying that thing, or, you know, talking when I want to? Like, why am I scared of people, you know? Why am I, like, afraid to kind of assert my needs and say what I want, right? I feel like that's what you're going through here. And also, see the black tourmaline? Like I think I said it in the introduction, it's a crystal, like a stone that's used for protection. So you may find that you feel like you have to protect yourself from people as well. That could be something with this pile. You know, you could have had a lot of that in your life. Like, you open your mouth and people are immediately like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Or like, a lot of people have kind of come for you in the past. That can lead to like a blocked throat chakra as well, you know. So you also have your commitment is being tested, the first quarter moon. So there's something here, you've been delayed. There's been a delay. That could be in everything. That could be in love. That could be in your job. There's been a stagnant energy. There's been a delay. And it's almost like you were being, this is the test. You've passed some kind of test. Like, it's time to move now. Things are going to start moving. You may have been attracted to pile number 2 yesterday. But it's like, yeah, your commitment was being tested in some sort of way. But I also feel like you've passed a test, and now that you've done that, it's time for things to start moving. You're going to notice that. Surrender to the divine. A personal issue reaches resolution. See, again, this puts me in mind of the throat chakra because it's blue. So I feel like this was a personal issue for you, learning to stand up for yourself, taking off your mask. I don't mean that you lied to people. I don't mean a mask in that way. That's what social anxiety and like a blocked throat chakra is though. It's like you feel like you have to massively amend your behavior to be around other people. And everybody does that to some extent, right? Like you can't just be going out in your gross pajamas, like, you know, saying whatever you want, say whatever you want, right? But you should, you know, you shouldn't be like completely changing who you are to hang out with people, right? That's not, or, you know, constantly silencing yourself, or, you know what I mean? Watching what you say and like trying to people please everyone and be like, oh, I better not say this because it might upset them, or like I better not say no to that favor that they asked in case it upsets them, you know, or like, oh, that person, you know, did something that like really hurt me, but I'm not going to say that because like I don't want to start a fight or upset them or something, you know, this kind of thing. Like I had to go, just for an example, like I had to go speak to someone today about something, like a neighbor. My neighbor, there was an issue and I had been ignoring it for a long time, but like I had to just go and say something, and now I feel like a lot better. But I feel like that was a little push because I too have been working on my throat chakra, so like that's always something that I've always had to work on. So that was a little test for me, you know. And you have the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back, because yeah, see, like my neighbor was doing something that's like very inconvenient to me, but I had kind of ignored it for a long time because she's like, oh, I don't want to like inconvenience them, like I don't want to start a fight. But it's like, but they're inconveniencing you, and the thing is they probably don't even know is the thing until you say it, you know what I mean? So often just saying something is enough to fix a problem, because a lot of the time I think people don't even know they've created a problem. You know what I mean? So there's definitely, I feel like there's something, you know, you may have always been quite shy and you got bullied, or there may have been something with your family where you learned to not speak up for yourself. That's what's like being removed from your life. Okay, so I feel like, yeah, I want to go back to this. There's been some kind of delay, like I said, but I feel like it was, they wanted you to see, like it's okay to speak up. What you have to say is valid, like you matter, what you have to say matters, you know. And now that you've done that, it's time for things to start moving. But I feel like you had to surrender to the divine quite a lot here, because there may have been just a period of time where nothing was happening and you're like, I don't understand, like why is this not, why am I being punished, like why is things not moving, like what's happening? It was so you could learn this lesson, but I feel like you had to surrender to the divine to do it, you know. I don't know how to put that any clearer. Like I hope that made sense for someone. And they were testing your commitment. It's almost, there was almost a little bit here of like, how much do you trust us as well? Because I feel like it can be very confusing when you don't understand why they're holding you back or why something is happening. Because I didn't understand why this thing was happening with my neighbor, for example. It's like, oh my God, like I do so much for you, like I do everything you say, like why are you putting me through this? But I feel like that's another one of my lessons, is to keep learning to like speak up for myself and, you know, inconvenience other people when they inconvenience me, right? And it's not really like, I'm sure it's not much of an inconvenience for them to stop doing it, it's just that they didn't know, right? So that may be something, like you have some kind of realization about something in your life soon. It's almost like your commitment to the divine was kind of being tested a little bit, okay? Or yeah, you've definitely passed some kind of test here, okay? Pile number 3. So that is your message. I hope you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I wish you many, many blessings, love and light. Take care.